Kia ora and welcome back to the CouchSide Sports Report, hosted by the CouchSide Network. You've got Dylan with you and Simon back talking some sports. Third episode. Can't believe it.
No, I do apologise for my lack of energy today. I believe I'm dealing with some form of strep throat. I don't know what it is. It just came on at work today, and I've had a day and a half. I had a very busy weekend, Dylan.
Yeah, we still live.
I was in Wellington both days.
Yes.
Had to stay in a hostel. Watched one of the most batshit Super Rugby games of my life, and then got home at like 8:30.
Which we'll talk about, by the way.
We will talk about 8:30 last night. Got a little bit of sleep. Drove 90 minutes to get to work today because people can't drive. Had a pretty slow day at work, and well, I'm here with a banged up throat for the love of the game to talk sports.
Let's just make a podcast complaining about our days.
Yeah, let's just complain about my day and how it took me 90 minutes to get from West Auckland to the city.
Yeah, this is a good point. Although, to be fair, looking at what we're running down, there's going to be plenty enough time for complaining.
Oh,
absolutely.
Anyway.
We've got some stuff to complain about, including, look, we're going through our Aotearoa, our local sport. We'll definitely be complaining about the Blues. Don't worry about that, even though they won. I'm going to complain about the Warriors, which I watched.
Oh, God, thank God it was you, not me.
Yeah, and I've got some complaints about Auckland FC.
That's pretty bold of you.
Yeah, I know. But I have complaints in international sport about the Golden State Warriors, but it's not as bad as it was.
When do you know?
A few weeks ago. Don't make me sound like that.
Hey,
but we are fans.
I'm bad
though.
Cop today. I have to make these jokes.
We are fans. You chose violence today.
I chose violence.
Yeah, just like the people that crashed on the road. But but there you go. Anyway, let's move on to the local sport, man. First off, let's just go through the Super Rugby round.
Super Rugby.
Chiefs got another. I'm pretty sure they beat another team 49-24 previously, but they've done it again. And once again, it was low scoring in the first half, and they came and pulled it.
I did notice they blew it out. I didn't watch this game. I was in Wellington, so it was quite hard to catch up with a lot of the results. But I did see the Chiefs weren't that far ahead for large portions of the game.
This is the only thing I hate about. I say hate. The only thing I dislike about the Chiefs being this good is when their players go and play for the All Blacks. The same thing does not happen.
Yeah, I guess it's a curse, not just with the Chiefs. It's happened with Crusaders players in the past.
It has.
Like a lot of guys who were so good in Christchurch, and then you're like, okay, well, they're clearly starting for the All Blacks, and you just don't get the same production.
Exactly.
And it happens with the Blues as well. It happens with any team, which is good.
I just can't believe it feels like such a change in level sometimes. But there's people and I know he's been injured, and I think if the Chiefs keep going the way that they're going, maybe not necessarily end up winning, but end up being really good as they are now. I think Quinn Tupai is definitely going to be back in the All Black fold.
Well, he has to. He was like... It was the worst tackle attempt. Well, it was the worst piece of rugby I'd ever seen.
How Darcy Swain is still playing rugby.
I see him still popping up in team sheets.
Man.
I'm like, what's going on? I still remember what you did to Quintu Paia. Like, he was injured it ruled him out of a World Cup in October the year before a World Cup. Yeah. Or September. It was it was despicable.
It was
but that's something which happened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm actually quite happy to see Tupai playing well.
I am too. And that's the thing, like with the All Blacks now, there's very open at 10, at least until Moanga comes back, which he probably will. But also to a lot of people, man, our centres aren't locked up there. No. Jordy Barrett, Rico Ioane probably held it down for the last, let's say, couple of years. But people, and to be fair, Rico Ioane, not in the best form at the moment. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
But yeah, just seeing all these Chiefs guys play well, I'm just like, can you please play like that for the All Blacks?
Because did Tupai come off the bench this week as well?
Yes, somehow.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully the Chiefs give him a run out as a starter to see if that form translates. Because
exactly.
Would like to see an informed centre in the All Blacks.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, I think he started the first 2 games anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say he started at 12, but it may have been 13.
I was in a position at this point. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a good
We'll take
point.
anyone in form.
That's a good point. like you said, you were at the Hurricanes Blues game.
Like I was,
at
yeah.
The Cake Tin? Is it
At
still
the
called
Cake
the Cake Tin?
Well, that's always just been its nickname. It's
Yeah.
Sky Stadium these days.
Well, I heard there's Wellingtonians down there. Shout out to my Wellingtonians, by the way, but not for this. That they complained about it being called the Cake Tin.
Well, it looks like a bloody cake tin.
That's what I'm saying.
They should have thought of designing it something else. They didn't want it to be called the cake tin.
And also, if the All Blacks didn't play like such cake down there, then we wouldn't call it the Cake Tin.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there you go. But what I will do, because I know that you are still suffering from a little bit of a bad time, I'm going to do my best to run down the game.
Oh, I can give it a crack.
You were at the game.
I'll let off the main points.
Are you sure?
I can.
All right.
Trust me.
Say less. All right. Well, you go because you were actually there.
Yeah.
I watched most of it by stats. So you go for it.
Well, yeah, it was my first time at the Cake Tin. Weird viewing angles, but that's what you get in an oval stadium. But it's loud in there even with a low attendance because of the design, which is quite cool. Yeah. Both of the teams played pretty bad. It wasn't... Yeah. Like, it was a entertaining game as it was quite high scoring and there was a lot going on, but both teams kind of just lacked a lot of cohesion. The Blues did not have any attacks, I think, for the first 23 minutes of the second half.
Wow.
The Canes had the ball the entire time, and I'm pretty sure they only scored once. So the Blues defense... It's still decent. The Canes just kept on picking us back. We'd get turnover, we'd lose it instantly. We kept on kicking it on the foul. On
the foul.
Foul.
The game was foul, but they kept it on the foul.
Yeah. And there was a lot of cards dished out, especially at the starts. The Canes had 13 men at one stage. We got pinged for offside. Rico went off. So Tutu, dangerous tackle, got sent off.
That's gone to a judiciary as well.
Yep,
as I found out this morning.
It was a yellow upgraded to a red, so I think it had to.
Yeah.
But the Canes had some moments where they did, have some good counter-attacking moments, some good speed. The Blues obviously had some decent moments in there.
Yeah.
I think Bowden is probably better for the team when he's playing at 10.
10, definitely.
But obviously with Eford and Harry Plummer, I think it depends on when Zahn Sullivan comes back and when Stephen Perofeta comes back when you move Bodie to 10, because Harry is off to France at the end of the season. So there is no real reason for him to be starting ahead of Bowden, because Bowden is going to be in All Black selections.
Here,
But Harry isn't.
That's very interesting, because and I've said this to you before. I'm pretty sure I said this on the podcast last week, is that and maybe it's him playing at 15, but Bowden Barrett's kicking game to start this year has been, the only way I can describe it is awful.
Yeah.
And it's not even the kicks themselves, it's the decisions he makes them in. And you saw that a little bit when he was playing for the All Blacks last year. And, I don't want to be that fan that's just complaining about everything. Look, we got a win. And a win we really, really needed.
It was one we needed, and it went right down to the wire. The Canes just weren't able to pull it off at the end.
Yeah.
Even with the one-man advantage. I think the Canes did lack a little bit of that scoring power, because obviously they went 23 minutes basically pegging us in our own defence and not scoring. So I think that's something the Canes need to work on. Our defence, I think, held up pretty well. We just need
our defence actually, if you look at least by scores, you look at what other teams are giving up compared to us. Chiefs only scored 25.
Exactly.
What happened? Highlanders last week scored 29. Highlanders this week literally scored 31. Already scored more than that. They scored more than that, I'm pretty sure, in their first game as well. These games have been high scoring.
Very high scoring. And I think
the Blues are holding it down on defense. I think that's a Vern Cotter thing.
I think we just still lack a little bit of cohesion. I forgot the word I messaged you on the day. I think I said something specifically.
While that's happening, while you're talking, I'm going to try and find this word. But cohesion is a pretty good way.
Cohesion's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was cool to finally go down to Cake Tin. My one slight gripe with it is that there's only one entry and exit into the whole stadium, which
really
it took so long getting out.
Oh my god!
And there was only it was about 11,000 people. And it was just, very hard to get out. I do apologize if you can hear a lozenge in my mouth. It's the only reason I'm being able to do this. But yeah, it was a really fun experience finally going to see a game at the Cake Tin. There was a bunch of like Argentinian guys, we think, like right at the front row, like doing like like doing chant like chants in Spanish, and the security we're pretty sure got called on them for being disruptive. They didn't get kicked out, but there was some guy in a Hurricanes jersey like yelling off security right next to them.
Oh my goodness!
Which was like.
Also, I have found the words that may be what you're trying to describe. It's the closest thing I can find. It looks like it is. Would you call it? Because you did say this in a message to me. Lacking fundamentals.
Yeah, that was
the thing you did mention.
That was one part. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big thing.
Further up the messages.
I'm still. That's something I think for the Blues too. And here's the thing, right?
I'll pass the phone here, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look.
And while you're saying that, I think that's the thing with the Blues at the moment as well, is that we're looking. Yeah, I don't know. It's the attack is not the same as last year, and maybe that's a Bowden Barrett coming in thing. Honestly, it very much could be.
I think he's better at 10.
Yeah. I agree.
And the word I was using was execution. I think
that's
execution is still poor. I think it can get better, but it's not great.
But that's the thing. These guys are going to need it. We're talking guys like Mark Talia.
The wingers put in a shift. Both wingers for the Blues put in a shift.
Yeah. But those guys are going to have to keep doing that because there's so much. There's competition, bro. Especially for All Black spots.
There's a lot of wingers. And one winger we did get to catch. I'm going to end the Blues Canes segment here because I think
we're too busy talking about the Blues.
I think we've covered that. Although briefly for the Canes, Godfrey I think played fairly well.
Yeah, he did.
And trying to think of everyone else who was playing. You could tell they lacked, although Duplessis Kadifi is a very talented flanker in his own right and loose forward, they lacked a guy who they've had for years who is now doing the same stuff on a different team, Adi Savia and Moana Pacifica.
To watch as well. We made the trip down. I say we made the trip down. To me, it's quite close.
It's around the corner from here.
Yeah, literally. But we made the trip to Albany to North Harbour Stadium to watch the Moana Pacifica game versus Highlanders. And I'll be honest with you, that, especially the second half, was one of the most exciting games of rugby I've been to in a long time. It was really good.
It was such a great game. I think we went into it thinking, I knew it was going to be pretty high scoring. The Landers and Moana are both scoring quite a lot of points, even if they're not converting it into wins. Although the Landers are now 2-1, I think. But yeah, such an amazing game. We were kind of thinking this was going to be the game of Jim Tavatavanawai.
Jim the difference.
It really was not. It was the game of Adi Savia. The amount of times this guy won the ball was absolutely insane.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
And the fact he caught a ball with his head and then ran and scored a try
is madness.
Was insane.
He showed that he's still that dude, right?
He is still, and he's starting for the All Blacks. I don't know if it's at 7. I don't know if it's at 8.
I think it'll be at 8.
But he's starting for the All Blacks because if he can do what he was doing for Moana in the black jersey, we're not going to be losing many games this year.
No, we're not. And that's the thing. And because I saw this on comments of the game afterwards, like, Ardy's carrying the team, all the stuff like that. We're not gonna sit here and act like for Moana's comeback. So the game was 31-29 to the Highlanders. It was 31-10 at halftime.
Yep.
Madness. They literally almost brought it back. And I think they had guys outside of that definitely made an impact. Our guy KT.
He didn't score, but I was impressed.
Yeah. He didn't make as much of an impact as people would think he would have, because he's a winger. You want wingers to score tries, but it's not like he wasn't doing his job. And also Moana did this really confusing thing where they put their number 11, their left wing, on the right, and put their number 14, their right wing, on the left.
I'm not sure if that was a tactic which they've been doing all season, or
I don't know what's going on there.
It was just something they decided they wanted to swap the wingers, but it was a bit weird. But also for the Landers, Caleb Tangito played well.
Yep, that interception try was that was such a killer.
Sawane Vakena put on a big hit on one of the Moana boys, and then
we're not going to talk about the big hit, the other big hit,
the big hit on Cam Miller, which
Cam Miller,
we hope you're doing well, because we heard
because
that.
That was a smack.
We heard that, and I did have to go on my phone about 5 minutes later and replay it just to get an actual sense of how bad it was.
Prayers up for Cam Miller, man, honestly. But yeah, man, it was such an exciting game. So glad we went.
Oh, so it was the largest crowd in Moana history.
Yeah, it was so good. And man, Moana brought it.
Moana
brought it.
I genuinely want to go to their next home game. I think it's this week. If you're not doing anything, I think we have no choice but to go.
Is it Saturday?
Friday or Saturday?
I'm pretty sure it's a Saturday because the Friday game is Blues Brumbies.
That's right.
Yeah. What other games happened through the week? We had, was it Waratahs Reds?
It was not Waratahs Reds. It was Waratahs Drua. And once again, the Drua don't lose by much away from home. Have they finally dropped the tag of being a bad away team?
I don't even think it's that. I talked about this last week. If those guys find a way, and this is the same with Moana Pacifica, to be fair, if these guys find a way, because the island teams in general, known for playing loose, more counter-attack, stuff like that. But if you can just have a little bit of structure at the right time, they would be winning these close games. Moana would probably get to more close games and then win those close games. I think the Drew are finally starting to figure that out, because it's not like they don't have talent. They're staying close in these games.
They're so stacked that their star fly half Caleb Muntz is moving to France, and I think they have a very good replacement on the bench.
Yeah.
And I forgot what his full name is, but part of his last name is Armstrong.
Yeah, he's Armstrong Raviula.
Yeah, he's Richie Moanga's cousin.
Of course he is.
From plays provincially for Manawatu. Very easy pickup for the Drawers. Played for the national team, I think, already as well. He comes in for months next year. Who's already he's currently Fiji's number 10. Yeah. He deserves his payday in France. Hopefully, being in France doesn't prevent him from playing for Fiji again, because that has been a problem in the past. But
has it?
French clubs don't release Fijian players.
Jeez.
Yeah,
these French clubs do. We'll eventually, on some podcasts, talk about this French B squad that's coming to New Zealand.
We're still a couple of months away from that, but
because of this reason. But
I just want to see DuPont play average at Eden Park.
Big facts. Big facts. Anyway.
Also, I forgot to mention the
Reds and the Force. Sorry,
Reds and Force. But the backup fly half at Moana really impressed me when he came on.
Yeah, Pellegrini.
I think he was really good.
Really good.
Loved Gordon Bashop, but
Jackson Garden
Bashop. Sorry, not Gordon Bashop.
Pellegrini
really impressed me. I think he nailed a couple of good kicks.
He did, man.
There's that English guy sitting next to us. We didn't even learn his name. And
no, I wish we did. Shout out to the English guy.
Shout out to the random. Yeah, we yarned with him for like the whole game. And
he was a Highlanders fan.
Yeah, I don't know why he was supporting the Landers, but he was enjoying himself.
You just offended all Landers fans.
No, because he was English. Like I don't get what the connection was, but he was going for the Landers. But no, it was awesome just bantering with him.
Yeah, man, he was great,
and he clearly was a fan of rugby as well. So
absolutely,
it was a good time.
It was cool, man. It was a great time.
I really enjoyed Moana.
Yeah, man. We need to go back, and it's only 15 minutes from my house.
I think I'll be going to every Moana game this season, every Blues game this season, every Auckland FC game this season, occasional Warriors games, because they're always at 8 p.m. and I kind of can't be stuffed getting home at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, fair.
Moving on
Well, I'm glad you've got the money.
That's the thing. Not really.
But yeah, and then the last game...
I will put my bank account in the description of this video so you can donate to me and Dylan.
We'll make a GoFundMe.
I promise I will split it 50-50 with Dylan.
We sound like the most selfish guys right now. Anyway.
No, we just sound desperate.
This is fair. Last game of the week, though, Reds get I'm pretty sure it was a last-minute win.
Yes.
Over the Force. The Force have been good, man.
I don't think there's any bad... really bad teams this year. I think everyone.
I like it.
Yeah, it's so good. I think everyone's so much closer together in ability. That although defense kind of seems optional when you look at the scores, they have been competitive games for the most part.
That is true.
I don't think Moana and the Force are in this way worse than everyone else tier.
No, I don't think they are.
I think the Highlanders obviously got better. The Canes haven't got worse to the point where they're horrendous.
No.
But they're at the level of those teams and not in a bad way. I don't think it had the Rebels folding had a massive effect on this.
Yeah, true.
But it definitely did help with the Australian teams. They are a lot stronger.
Definitely.
Like, you've got Tupou on the Reds, I think, now.
Is he Reds or Waratahs?
One. No, because he started... No, yeah, Waratahs, sorry, because he started on the Reds, didn't he?
Yeah. Yes, I believe so. Anyway, he's on a team. He's
on the team. He's on a team. Unfortunately, an Aussie team. Because remember, he came through and...
he's Sacred Heart, isn't it?
Sacred Heart, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, though. But preview the next round. Yes. Blues play the Brumbies. Blues need that win as well.
The Blues need a win.
Especially against a team as good as the Brumbies. Really need that one.
And the Brumbies clearly were taking it to the Chiefs in parts of their game. So if they can take it to the Chiefs, they can take it to the Blues.
Absolutely.
And we need to, no Hoskins, because he'll probably be suspended.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm really interested,
unfortunately,
to see who plays at the 8. Will it be Saufo? Will it be someone else? I'm a big fan of Anton Segner. I'm a big fan of Saufo. He's had quite a remarkable career so far.
Definitely has.
Spending
he came back from cancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It surprised me how quickly he came back as well. Like, he kind of announced, I'm dealing with cancer, and we thought we wouldn't see him for a while. But then he was playing, I think, a couple of months later for Auckland, which you just have to respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's insane. Like, I can't believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. Chiefs play the Drua. I expect the Chiefs to win that, but I think the Drua will once again keep it close.
I think they will.
Especially if it's at home. I don't know if it's Chiefs home or Drua. I think the
From the notes it says Drua, so
I'm pretty sure it's a Drua at home. Then the Hurricanes play Moana. That's going to be big because Artie's...
I'm going to see the Canes play 2 weeks in a row.
Are you good? How? Oh, are they at North Harbour?
But yeah, it's a Moana home game, I'm pretty sure.
I have to double check that.
I'm pretty sure they said when we were at the game, you catch us next week. And I said, is that us? And you didn't hear me, and you laughed.
Yeah, because the stadium was really loud playing Mate Matonga.
He loved the music, by the way. He was in his element.
That wasn't me just loving the music though.
Oh no, I was
everybody was loving it. But yeah, absolutely.
They didn't play Venga Boys, I was disappointed.
Very disappointed. Anyway, Moana play the Hurricanes, and I'm going to throw something out there. And I'm going to make it a post as well, definitely somewhere. So be on the lookout for this.
Oh no.
Richie Mo'unga.
Oh.
What if Richie Mo'unga comes back to New Zealand, which sounds like he will. Razor will hopefully convince him. What if he comes back but plays for Moana?
Top 4. Top 4. Top 4. Him and Artie, top 4.
But the reason I've thrown that out there is because I've heard a lot of people say that that's not Moana was built for. It was built to give those guys, like young island guys, opportunities to play in the team. But my argument is, if you want to build that team's reputation up, you got to get players like that in there. And I'm not saying overdo it, but
because
I think you got to do that.
They'll have Artie and they'll have Richie, and everyone else will be a Pacific Island international or someone who is aspiring to be one. Like when I think that'd make
a great team.
When the team first came in, their big guy was Kepu, who was like 35, 36, like over 100 caps for Aussie, like. He was. Some people would argue he's taking a spot from a young Pacifica prop, but you need a guy like him in the team to rally everyone around and for the mentoring aspect as well. Look, imagine what Artie's doing right now. Not just performing on the field, but like.
And he knows it. He absolutely knows it.
Yeah,
like, I know he knows the impact that he's making. Not just on the team playing clearly, but at the same time. Also, just being part of that team and being such a big name and doing that. I think Moana, oh, there you go. Mo'unga on Moana. Yeah. Would do the same thing. That's a pretty good save from me. But I'm going to throw that out there. What do you think? If Mo'unga comes back, I'm getting these confused now. If Mo'unga comes back, should he play for Moana Pacifica? I think that would be pretty cool. But the other games we've got on hand as well, Waratahs versus Force, that should be pretty good.
That would be good.
And then the Crusaders and Reds, I think is an underrated game that could be quite good as well.
I think it's kind of hard to gauge both teams, so it will be really interesting to see how they match up against each other. Like, I don't know with the Aussie teams, my overall knowledge at the beginning of the season is a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
And especially this season when you lose one team completely in the Rebels and everyone kind of splits off into the 4 other teams.
Absolutely.
It's kind of hard to get
Yeah.
that gauge. But
Yeah.
I'm really...
It'll be an interesting round, though.
It will be. And hopefully we're back at Albany.
And Blues, please.
Blues.
Please.
Also,
Just get another win, please.
Shout out to our guy on the inside, Tane.
Tane, shout out to Tane, man.
He replied to my Instagram story that I was in Wellington.
Yeah.
And then and this was at about midnight. I was at a random bar on Courtney Place. I was like,
shout out Courtney Place, man.
I was like, yo,
let's go.
What happened at the end of that Blues game? Because at the end of the Blues game, it was about a delay in play for about 5 minutes before a scrum, the last scrum of the game.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what was going on the stand. It was because Knock got injured, and Val got head knocked, I'm pretty sure, and they were trying
Did you
to
just
bring...
make a pun?
Unintentionally. And they were trying to bring Finley Christie back on, but the independent doctor said it wasn't a head knock. So that's why Bodie had to
give it in.
Give it in, and so I told Tane, I was like, oh, does that mean Bowden's 4th choice halfback now? And he's seen me, so I need to work on my comedy.
No, shout out to Tane, man. Love
shout out
that guy.
Tane, great
Love
guy.
that guy. Also, Super Rugby Picky. They had first or second round.
First round.
The Blues are
winning it again.
The Blues women have carried on their momentum.
They won that preseason game against the Chiefs, who
66-12, was it?
Who were their opponents in the finals last year.
Yeah.
And they've gone out and blown out the Hurricanes Poa. Sorry.
Yeah. 50-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Blues will be winning that. Ruahei Demand is doing Ruahei Demand things. Portia Whitman-Woodcliffe scored on her Blues debut. Yeah, good luck beating the Blues woman, man.
Yeah. Mata too bet the Chiefs. That's cool to see. Obviously, quite a unique situation. That's basically a combined Crusaders Highlanders team. Yeah. Representing the whole South
There's only 4
Island.
teams in the comp. Yeah, which is weird. I thought there was more, but hey, there you go. But I think it's going to be pretty tough to stop the Blues women. Let's just throw that.
I believe it's a 6-game regular season, so everyone plays each other once at home, once away. At least that's what it was last year.
That makes sense.
I don't know if it's changed. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see that Blues Hurricanes game. But I will be trying to get to an all-picky game.
We're definitely, man.
Yeah, we have to. Like, if we've got a team as good as the Blues women playing in our home city,
amen,
we would be doing a disservice for our lover sport if we're not going.
A woman. Yeah. I should not have done that.
Louise.
Hey. Anyway.
Moving on.
The NRL.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Now,
I haven't even talked to my rugby league Warriors diehard friend about this game because I just know he's suffering.
Yeah, I think, and this is the thing I'm going to talk about this as well, is like, as somebody who didn't grow up with rugby league, I was a rugby union guy, but I want to get into rugby league and I want a team. I always have a team for everything. I really want it to be the Warriors. I can't see it being anybody else. I'm definitely not supporting an Australian team from here and out there or in New Zealand, but boy, is it hard to get into the Warriors, dude, because you just want them to win. You think they have a good enough team to win. Yep. And look, I know it's the first game, and Overreaction Monday. I know it's the first game, and I will say it was awesome that it was in Vegas. It's awesome they want to take the game global. Allegiant Stadium is a beautiful stadium, and I did watch the first half, and then I would say the first quarter of the second half. So I will give my best analysis as best I can.
Please.
But with that being said, the Warriors lost 30-8 to the Raiders, who I think they should have beaten, even on paper. But hey, you don't play the game on paper, so there you go.
We could do a cut from last week where I'm sitting here saying we should be comfortably beating the Raiders and one of the worst teams in the comp on paper, and then cut to this week you saying we lost 30 points to 8. Yeah. But it's such a Warriors thing to do.
I'm blaming it on you. No.
Yeah.
But me. I will say this. Look, man, I can't lie. The Raiders came out to play.
They did.
The Raiders really, I don't want to say carved us up, but that's the best way I can describe it. The Blues, oh my gosh, the Warriors seem to play very central
Yeah.
Like, they had Tuopiki, who was on one wing, and Tuivasa-Sheck on the other. I feel like they ran through more of the middle than they did on the side of the field.
It's a common thing with the Warriors team.
And the funny thing is, the first try they, actually, that would have been the only try they scored. Yeah. Nope. Yeah, because anyway, the first try they scored was what would you call a number 11? A prop?
Number 11 is
11, 12, 13. It's a prop, isn't it?
Yeah, because
I wish I could
prop,
remember.
hooker, prop, loose forward.
Yeah,
lock.
I wish I could remember his name. Shout out to him.
Was it Nyokoro?
No, it was a white guy.
The white guy playing 11.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but anyway.
No, not Mitch Barnett or
No, Mitch Barnett was 10.
Capewell. It'd be Capewell.
Yes, that's it.
Kirk Capewell.
Yeah. So he scored, but he was out on the wing. And
he's played centre before.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of
just
makes
a league
sense.
thing.
Yeah, but just a league thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the Warriors should have definitely gone out wide more. Maybe it's a case of they're not as confident to do it with Watene-Zelezniak injured at the moment. And who was our other winger?
We lost Montoya to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
is a
Montoya
shame.
went to the Bulldogs.
I quite liked Montoya.
So did I.
I thought he was a good personality.
Solid dude.
Yeah. He even had a podcast here with his wife.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm not sure if that's happening anymore.
No.
Because they're back in Sydney now.
That is true.
Also, like Marcelo Montoya, Fijian.
Oh,
Chilean. Fiji Chilean. It's
Fiji Chilean.
Like you see the name of Marcelo Montoya, and then you see a very Fijian man, and you're like, there has to be a story here.
What happened? I'm sure we'll find out that story later.
I'm pretty sure it's like a Fijian mother, a Chilean father. You see so many awesome like mixes of culture in the NRL.
It is cool.
Like,
and look at the Indigenous Māori All-Stars game.
Yeah.
That's
which we talked about in the first episode.
We did. Go back and watch that, by the way.
I'm a lot more lively in that episode.
But yeah, man, look, the Warriors, they have to take that out. I think they should use the width of the field more. Because I think you have, when Watene-Zelezniak comes back, you've got him. You've got either Tuivasa-Sheck on one wing. Tuopiki is a young talent who showed flashes. I still think he's better at fullback. Nickel Klukstad definitely didn't have his best game, and for one of the tries that the Raiders scored, because he was trying to catch the ball falling down, that's the reason they scored.
Yeah.
So he didn't have his best game, but look, it was first game of the season.
Exactly, and it was in Vegas.
Yeah, it was
like
in
it's
Vegas.
A massive difference in place to where they'd usually open the season.
Exactly,
and they get an extra week to rest. So
exactly. So I'm sure they will come back better. And I will say the Warriors team do look pretty good. I would like to think we would finish top 8. I'm not going to say anything further than that to start the season.
We'll see. And we're unfortunately bad planners. We haven't written down which games are actually happening this weekend. But there is every team that didn't play in Vegas except for one is playing this weekend.
Exactly.
In Australia.
And
we'll
even besides that, the other game in Vegas was the Panthers
Sharks,
who I still think will win it. Will win the title.
How can they not? They have Nathan Cleary.
So good, dude.
He's the best player in the game at the moment by a big
I don't
amount.
think there's any doubt.
No. And the thing is, he had a Kiwi passport at one stage. He went to either Mags or Sacred Heart briefly. What if?
Can you imagine, dude?
What if? I think someone who was at Vegas supporting the Wires was above like the Panthers were on the side of field during one of the other games, and he was yelling at Nathan, just one season at the Warriors, one season please, and he was chuckling, and he supported us growing up. So that's crazy. That's all I could hope one day is maybe Nathan Cleary decides, you know what?
Yeah,
I'll come to the Warriors and do what my dad was just short of doing and bringing us a premiership.
Yeah, let's hope so, man. I mean, look, they took it. I mean, the Sharks took it to him.
The Sharks are a good team now.
Yeah, the Sharks took it to him. It ended up being 28-22. Let me double check that. It was 28 because I did write it down, and also him blaming all the bad notes. That's on me. I will take that.
I touched it up as well, so my blood's on it too.
28.
This is the worst episode yet.
Nah, this is so good. This is how you know it's real. But they did, they took the win 28-22, and I do expect the Panthers to win the season
If it's not the
title.
Panthers, it's the Storm, because the Storm are very dangerous.
That's true.
With
The Storm are playing this week. That I do know.
we can tell you that.
That I do know. But every other team but one team will be
but
playing.
the Storm's best player is a Kiwi, Jerome Hughes.
There you go.
One of their best players. They have Cameron Munster as well. They have Ryan Pappenhausen.
Let's pronounce his name right, though. It's Jarome.
Jerome,
Yeah,
sorry.
Jarome.
But yeah, I'm really
I love
interested to watch the games.
that.
I won't have the added stress of watching the Warriors play this weekend, which is always nice. Watching the NRL as neutral, because there's so many teams and so many good matchups, and yeah, can't wait.
Absolutely. Now, usually on this podcast, and this is for a good reason, usually Simon is our football expert.
I am.
But as you know, Simon was in Wellington.
Unfortunately.
So I had to pick up the...
No, it was a good trip.
Shout out to Wellington.
It was an awesome trip. Well, it was the best weekend I think Wellington's ever had weather-wise. Like, genuinely, only first day, sunny as hell,
Yeah.
but it was just windy. Wellington, obviously. Second day, it was warmer, sunnier, less windier.
That is off, and I will say this
was
as
amazing.
well, as somebody that that's part of their job is to do traffic reports for Wellington. You kind of get it's not like you're fully there, but you kind of get a sense of what the weather's like, because you have to say it every time. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That sounds like some of the best weather Wellington's had in a while.
Like, I was sweating
Yeah, wow.
at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, do you know what I'm sweating right now?
Auckland FC.
Auckland FC.
Auckland FC.
So I'm going to do my best football analysis I can.
Don't worry, I watched the highlights for you.
But you let me know if I did something wrong, because I did watch the full game.
Yes.
Most of the game, at least. And I feel like you get certain stuff from highlights.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't get the full scope of the game.
I was
So
only
here we go.
doing it to get a little bit of a gauge, and
Yeah.
also to watch the penalty calls, because I did hear about both of those.
Yes. So I don't think that matters at the end of the day anyway within this game.
No.
But it was 4-4, high scoring game.
Very high scoring.
Auckland FC start out firing, and I literally mean firing. Your guy, I'm going to call him Guillermo, because that's what I usually see that name spelt as. But put in a banger of a goal
He's sensational.
to start the game. This is what he does, though.
Yeah.
This is what he does.
He just shoots from distance, and like genuinely half of the time it goes in the back of the net, and I don't understand how he's so good at it. Does it show the level of the A-League? Possibly.
It could.
But, you know, he's just, he's great. I really do like him. I really hope he comes back next year, like most of the team. And then he scored another goal not too long after
that. But that was a tap-in. It was a great, I want to say a great corner. It was. Max Mata took up literally two guys at once.
Yeah.
There may be a little bit of controversy there, because there may have been a push in the back, but they did VAR check it. But he literally takes up two players. Those guys are focused on him. Mai comes through, slots it past the keeper. Easy work.
Yeah.
But that was about as easy it was going to get.
Unfortunately.
For Auckland FC. Adelaide score off of that. A fantastic corner. I have to say that, to bring it back 2-1. And honestly, from that point and the rest of the second half, it was back and forth. I think Rogerston scored the goal to go 3-1. Then they scored another goal. Then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they scored it to go 3-3, or did we score it to go 4-2? This is the bit I missed.
So it was 3-3. So we were 3-1 up at one stage, and then it was 3-3. The penalties, the first one, I think it was a penalty. I think it was a little bit of theatrics. So
there's always theatrics in football. Something I get annoyed about.
There is, but the second one I think was definitely a little bit of a stretch, and Marley Francois was clearly fouled in the lead up to the penalty, which did not get checked from the looks of things. You take that one away, and Auckland win.
Yeah.
Auckland thought that equalised in the 92nd minute with Hiroki Sakai. Won the game with Hiroki Sakai.
Yeah,
and then
did.
Adelaide did what we did to them about a month or two ago, and equalised at the death.
Oy. Yeah.
But Adelaide are probably the second or third best
Adelaide
team.
are probably, that's true. But I do have my concerns, and
What?
I want to see if you agree with me on them.
Okay.
So my concerns...
He hasn't told me yet, so this is my real reaction.
This is here you go. So my concern...
And I'm snappy today, be warned.
With the Auckland FC, I can handle it, is that any time
Mm.
Adelaide scored a goal,
Yes.
we looked like we fell apart.
Because
And-
we're not used to being.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
so that's my point. So like if we score those goals first,
Yeah.
I'm honestly not sure if we win that game. And there was a stat that they said as well. Every game and I'm pretty sure it's most of the games to be fair, but all the games that we've started being the first goal scorers, we've ended up either winning
Or drawing.
or drawing.
Yeah.
But once we go down, we lose. So that's a big concern for me. Not necessarily for regular season. Look, we're pretty much, 8 to 10 points clear at the moment. At
It's
the
8
top,
points, yeah.
where it concerns me is in those finals, quarterfinals games where it is one game, you got one shot, you've got to take it.
It wouldn't shock me, honestly, if Auckland top the league at the end of the regular season, but do go out and before the final
Because that's what it looked like to me.
Because of, how finals football can be.
Yeah, man.
Thankfully, in the semi-finals, you do kind of get 2 chances. But again, in the final, you're just one mistake away from throwing a game.
So that's definitely the concern that I have with Auckland at the moment. I think that's definitely got to improve. I think we need to play more. I don't want to put it this way because I definitely don't want this to happen, but I think we need to play. I want to see us play more games being down 1-0 at the start instead of being up 1-0 because it feels like our composure just goes.
It does, I think. We really rely on the momentum you get by being the team ahead and being the team with the chances. I think the real anomaly to us conceding but still performing really well after that goal was the game against the Knicks.
Yes.
Where we were 2-0 up. I think 2 or 3-0 up. They did score, but then we scored 3 or 4 more goals later, which shows that we have the potential, even though the Knicks weren't particularly great that day.
And the Knicks did, just to quickly cover it, the Knicks did lose again 1-0 to Melbourne City. I hate seeing them down this far because I want a New Zealand 1-2 finish. But hey, anyway, carry on.
But yeah, that's basically all I was gonna say. We have the potential to, keep on holding our
leads,
our momentum. But I think it is a concern, a good concern to look at.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably something they're actively working on.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I'm not necessarily concerned about it the regular season. I'm going to get concerned about it when it gets down to the final, even though semis is you get another chance. But I'm going to be concerned with those ones because their one game matters. It's, those, that's the only game that matters. With regular season, you're going to get more game stuff along those lines. So you probably take a loss differently, even though as somebody who's quite competitive, you don't want to lose anyway.
No.
But with that being said, if it was perfect, man, we'd have nothing to work on.
Exactly. It would be boring.
Yeah. It absolutely would be boring.
It gets to those points in, your saves on FIFA or 2K or Football Manager when you've built a team so good and you're just winning everything and you're not losing. You're like, well, what's the point?
Exactly.
What's the point?
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see how Auckland FC go from here for the rest of regular season because I'm sure they'll stay the top.
Yeah.
But how they carry on. But yeah, just to run down some of the other local sport that happened.
Well, I think there's only one.
Yeah, well, there's only one. The Black Caps got a win
over Bangladesh.
Against Bangladesh. We did just lose to India by 44 runs.
Well,
but it almost...
The circumstances of this tournament. I think we covered in one of the previous episodes. It's been hosted by Pakistan, but any game involving India, including potentially the final, if they make it, will be held in Dubai because India refused to play in Pakistan. So we played our first 2 games in India, in Pakistan, and we had to travel to Abu Dhabi to play India. But that's not even that far away, and it's not really an excuse.
No, it's not.
But
it's not really.
It just kind of shows that, and India are playing all their games in the same place, and they're getting some pretty decent rest times, I've read, between games compared to the others. Which is interesting, but we're not going to talk about cricket politics today. But we are playing South Africa, I believe, in the semi-final.
Yes, we are.
They're a good team at the moment. It will be a good game for the Black Caps. If we win, even better. We won the Champions Trophy back in 2000. Would be really cool to repeat.
True that. True that. I'm just glad the Black Caps got through because
Yeah.
England and Mr. Brendan McCullum did not.
They did not.
And I watched the game they played against Afghanistan.
Oh.
I was at work in the morning, and that was on.
And I was still playing.
Yeah.
What time were you in at work? Like 4?
Oh, bro, no, it would have been. So I got to work at 5:10 in the morning.
Oh, so you caught like probably the
So
last.
I caught a little bit of the last bit, but man, I'll tell you what. I mean, there was one guy on the Afghanistan team. I think he ended up hitting 177.
Whoa!
Something along those lines. Joe Root.
172.
No, it was 177.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Joe Root ended up scoring 120. Nobody else got over 50.
Nah.
That was at least I know of. Yeah, nobody else got over 50. So England are out, which I'm sure our English friends will hate. But at the same time, as a proud Kiwi, haha.
Haha.
But now it's time to move on to the international sport because the last thing we're going to talk about, I am so excited. I'm not going to ruin it for you though yet. I'm not going to do it.
I've genuinely forgotten what the last thing we're talking about
is. You
is.
will know what it is when we get there.
Okay.
But the first thing I will wrap up because I'll wrap up is the NBA. We're gonna.
I just read what we're talking
exactly.
about last, so I'm gonna rest my voice for this NBA
Sweet
one.
as. Leave the
So
NBA to me, brother.
Dylan, talk your basketball.
So NBA this week. I'm going to mention the Warriors. Shout out Dub Nation. Love my Warriors. Not the one New Zealand Warriors.
Boo.
Whatever. No, the Golden State Warriors are still technically 7-1 without Jimmy Butler. We're now 7th, and I'll be honest with you, that in the Western Conference, between 6th and 10th is about 2.5 games difference, which is close. So I'm glad the Warriors are in that mix and have stayed in that mix. Hopefully we end up 6th, so we don't have to play in the play-in tournament. But I doubt we're going to get to 5th. I think the Lakers are holding up 5th spot at the moment. And there was an interesting thing. I'm not sure this is true because I haven't watched their games since the Lakers Mavericks last game. I think Luka is actually playing slightly worse with LeBron, but at the same time, I want people to understand it's because he's actually, I don't want to say actually got a good teammate because I'm not in the NBA, but that Lakers team is probably. It's not necessarily it's built around LeBron. So he's playing more. He's built.
It's LeBron.
Yeah, he's playing
My
around.
sunshine, my little bonbon,
my king,
my one and only.
But yes, so he's playing a slightly different role, but eventually, and the Lakers are so blessed to be able to do this, they will eventually build it around Luka once LeBron retires.
Of course. Whenever that will be, who knows? Luka may retire before LeBron.
So, who knows? This is a good point. But Lakers fans, I would say, don't worry about Luka's stats and anything like that. As long as you guys are winning games, I think that's what matters.
That's what's going to happen, though.
As a Warriors fan, be worried. But,
I'm so scared.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't know this was happening. I was out with my girlfriend, with Gabrielle.
Name drop.
Yeah, I had to hard launch.
Hard launching your 5.5 year long.
Years. No, so I was out at her cousin's 21st lunch.
Oh, fun.
We were at Joe's Garage. Great place, by the way. If you're in New Zealand, Aotearoa, go to a Joe's Garage.
We're doing free promo now.
And that's true. And there was a big TV screen.
Oh, so you were.
And the Cavs Celtics were playing. I didn't know they were playing. But that's first. That's first in the East versus second in the East, or really Cleveland's first in the NBA. They are on a tear right now, and here's me thinking, it started. The game literally started. The Celtics were up. I'm pretty sure it was 25-3.
I saw. Wasn't it 28-3?
Something along those lines. But I was like, okay, Celtics are going to bring this back. No, they did not. Cleveland ended up winning this game. And Cleveland, man, they're on a tear, man. I can't lie. They look really good.
I mean, the more you see them win in the regular season, the more you sometimes think maybe they can hold this in the playoffs. Maybe
that is true.
The Cavs can win a ring without LeBron. I think that would be an insane story.
Would be.
I don't think anyone expected.
Nobody expected that. It's going to be I think this is going to be a very interesting playoffs because the teams that are first, second right now, Cavs, Thunder, Rockets up there, they're young.
They're very young. I was so surprised when I looked at the standings and saw the Rockets so high up. I was like, I'm sorry, wasn't this team like horrendous?
Yeah, Alperen Sengun, bro, is a dude.
He is a dude.
He's a dude.
He is a dude.
Yeah, he's going to be main, and there's a reason why he was an all-star. But yeah, there's so many young teams at the top, and I'm just not sure if experience is going to matter or not once it gets to that point. Only time will tell once we get into that. But I only think there's, I want to say, 10 or so games left before the playoffs start. But yeah, and man, also speaking of young teams, I had to mention this. Shout out the Detroit Pistons right now. They are sixth in the East.
Oh my goodness!
They just went on. They just lost a game, but they were on a 7 to 8 game winning streak.
Detroit
Pistons. Cade Cunningham locking it down over there.
He was first overall for a reason, and they talk about his Montverde Academy team as being one of the best of all time.
True.
It's not. It was Chino Hills for a reason. But
I'm a swerve. I'm that kind of whoa.
Also, we forgot to. I can't believe we forgot to mention this last week. We give our biggest. Well, I'm not very religious. Prayers, support to the one and only LeVar Ball.
No, that's the real king.
Who only went and got his foot amputated. Like, I'm not entirely sure what it was about.
Yeah, but did you not see the latest Primby video?
I've seen all the Primby videos.
He grew it back.
Yeah, he's LeVar Ball.
It was definitely his other foot. But
yeah. But shout out to LeVar. He somehow seemed so just like calm and still his self. After losing a foot, because that's hard. Like, you have to learn how to free walk with a prosthetic, and he's still making the bloody cameos. Like, me and my friend, we were on Discord call, and we were just looking at all the different people who you get cameos from, and LeVar was still doing cameos, and I'm like, God.
Shout out LeVar Ball.
It probably is a good thing to have to kind of pass the time when you're recovering from such a procedure and trying to take your mind off it.
TikTok account.
Primby account.
Anyway.
But I'm sure if anyone's going to grow their foot back, it will be LeVar.
It'll be LeVar. But yeah, man, the NBA it's the West between 6th and 10th. That is a war at the moment. And in the East, it kind of pretty much looks like it's going to stand the way it's standing now. But shout out to the Pistons for being 6th. I love seeing that.
Awesome.
Now, I'm going to pass this more off to you, but I will still talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
The Euro football.
Yes.
I want to get into La Liga first, though.
Yes.
Because that is still tight at the top.
It's still heating up. I have forgotten to check the league leaders in Italy, France, and Germany. So
we're not perfect.
Yeah, we're not perfect. Unfortunately, we'll not be commenting on those leagues.
Germany, I do know.
Oh, Germany, and France, we know.
Yeah, my boys, Leverkusen still second. By 8 points.
PSG
first.
still first in France. Italy, I don't know. It could be one of 3 teams.
Yeah,
but
no. Let's
La
go
Liga.
to La Liga because this is still heating up.
So, if you weren't here last week, basically La Liga is a very hotly contested 3-horse race for the title. It's your usual contenders: Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. Barca had a thumping 4-0 win over Real Sociedad, while Atletico bet Athletic Club 1-0. Your Spanish team.
That's how you know I'm a fan of the team.
And
Bilbao's still 4th though.
But Real Madrid lost 2-1 to a Real Betis, who have had a bit of a resurgence in form after signing Antony from Manchester United on loan.
The king himself.
And he has genuinely been playing well. It's probably because he's not at United, and he's probably in a more favourable league for his strengths.
True.
Because that always seems to happen.
True.
With United players as well, moving to a different country and then just playing so much better.
Yep.
But that means Barcelona on 57 points are clear of Atletico by a point. Real Madrid are now 3 behind Barcelona, but they could still get back into it, obviously. They're still in our Clásico to play in May.
Yep.
And Athletic Bilbao still in 4th.
Come on.
48 points, 4 points ahead of Villarreal.
Also, I will say, because Barca beat Real Sociedad, I will say they're like our main rivals.
Oh, yeah.
So Shout out to Barcelona for that one.
Shout out to Barcelona.
But yeah, that is tight.
So Barca host Osasuna in the next game.
Yep.
Atletico are away to Getafe, and Real Madrid are host Rayo Vallecano, who I know are like 7th,
I'm pretty
I
sure.
think.
Yeah.
And your boys, Bilbao, host Mallorca.
Yeah. They are my boys,
Hey.
man. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Foreshadowing?
It is foreshadowing.
We'll definitely. Yeah,
moving on.
No, they are my boys, man. Shout out to Athletic Bilbao.
Prem update. Everyone loves the Premier League update, don't
Premier
they?
League update.
Liverpool are still way in front. They beat Newcastle 2-0.
Yes.
At 13 points ahead, but most teams do have a game in hand, so it's 10 points.
I told my Liverpool fans at work, who I work quite closely with, he was like, anytime we play Newcastle, it's usually 0-0, nobody scores, something along those lines. And I said, I reckon it's going to be either 1-1, 2-1, or 2-0. Trust the brothers.
Wow.
Should have trusted the brothers.
You had a 25% chance of being right there. That's amazing, bro. Like,
you suck. You know that.
I know.
Let me have those.
No, okay. You made a good football
Carry on
take.
with the other results. Carry on with the other results.
He's bad at me now.
Carry on.
I'm in the dog box.
I'm the one that snapped now, not
yeah.
you. What else do we have, brother? What else we got?
Forest and Arsenal drew 0-0. I tried to watch this game at work, and it wasn't very important. And when I do watch football at work, it lags my computer out, so it makes it quite hard to do work. So I was like, you know what? I've actually got work to do. So
damn.
I don't. Yeah. I just have it in the background, but even in the background, it lags my computer. It's like,
yeah, fair.
Not gonna bother.
Although Forest still third.
Still third. Man City did beat Tottenham 1-0, which means they are now only a point behind Forest.
Yep.
And Forest are only 2 points ahead of Chelsea. So there is a bit of a race for that third and fourth spots.
You need to help me understand something. Because people have been hating on Chelsea at the moment. My question is, look, Chelsea may not be in the top 4.
No.
But they are up there.
They're fighting for Champions League.
Yeah. So,
they've spent so much money.
Yeah, I know. But so what I'm saying is, like, people like, Chelsea's not the Chelsea it was, stuff along those lines. I'm like, it's not... They're not top 4, but they're competing for Champions League. It's not like they're not doing well.
They're just whining because they're not winning.
Who should be whining is me, Leicester, who are 5 points in the relegation zone.
Or any team who's, battling administration
it's
stock points.
It's the thing I used to have problems with Arsenal fans. I'm like, dude, what are you guys complaining about? You guys are always top 4, if not top 8.
I mean, there were a few seasons when they were pretty rough, but we're still finishing 8th.
Yeah, but it's not Man United's 15th,
No, Man United fans don't know how you're surviving.
Spurs as well.
Honestly. Yeah.
Hey.
But moving on, both Leicester and Ipswich are 5 points away from 17th.
Yeah.
The weekend was actually FA Cup. These Prem games were midweek.
That's
FA
true.
Cup, one of the worst challenges I've ever seen from a goalkeeper in my life. Liam Roberts, what were you thinking on Jean-Philippe Mateta, who they had to take him to hospital in a neck brace because his studs basically connected with his temple.
This was a goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper jumping out in front of striker, foot in the temple.
What, do you think it was Karate Kid or something?
I think he thought he was. Probably Cobra Kai.
My goodness. What game was this in?
FA Cup 5th round game between Millwall and Crystal Palace.
Oh, was it Millwall's goalkeeper?
Yeah. No surprises there.
No surprises.
Apparently Millwall fans were chanting let him die.
Oh, jeez.
Which is
that culture over there is different.
It's different, but Millwall fans are scum.
Yeah, for that, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't do that.
They're not known for
even
being
if
the best fans.
hearty English grassroots footy, you don't
come
wish,
down, man.
You don't
Calm
do
down.
that.
Yeah.
But other FA Cup games, there wasn't any other keeper red cards from my knowledge.
Thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord. Villa bit Cardiff. Preston thumped Burnley, which was interesting considering they've been very good defensively in the Championship. Bournemouth bit Wolves on penalties. City did concede to Plymouth first, but still won 3-1. Brighton bit Newcastle, and then this morning, Fulham knocked out Man United on penalties. We're not done with the FA Cup, though, because Nottingham Forest do play Ipswich tomorrow morning. Chris Wood could be on his way to a FA Cup quarter-final if they do beat Ipswich.
True.
So I'm going to try. I might be sick at work tomorrow. I'll be too busy at work tomorrow. I probably won't be able to watch that game live, but I hope.
We will bring the result to you, though.
Of course, well, that's our job now.
This is our job now.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Yeah, we have no money.
Quickly before we go into
the next thing,
which is basically going to replace our segment, even though it's really just another international thing. I'm so
excited though. It's going to be such a hype up, and people listening to this. And
we're going to be like, shut up.
I don't care.
Champions League back on Wednesday morning.
Yes, sir.
Ties to look out for Real Madrid Atletico on Wednesday, and then Bayern versus Leverkusen and PSG versus Liverpool on Thursday. And then the Premier League back on the weekend. Forest, massive home game against Man City. They win that. They're in a very good position to hold top four. Liverpool host Southampton, and Ipswich and Leicester play both Crystal Palace and Chelsea away, respectively, and need Wolves to drop points at home to Everton in order to put pressure on them.
And I'm going to keep doing this until they actually start consistently doing it. Leicester City, can you please win a game and score a goal, please?
I'm sure they're gonna take that to heart, mate.
Yep, they'll definitely listen to that.
they're gonna listen to this and see you big up Athletic Bilbao for 10 minutes and then go, Leicester, please.
I just bigged up Leverkusen. This is what I do. This is how I follow sport. I find a team in a league and I'll follow it.
Fair enough.
That's just how it works.
Fair enough. I'm not gonna criticize you today.
Thanks, man.
And then Man United host Arsenal. Yeah, but moving on.
Arsenal would win that.
Moving on to Dylan's so excited for this, and this is probably going to be a recurring thing in the podcast now because we've ripped the band-aid off slightly.
Yes.
And to preface, Dylan included this in the run sheet for this before the event had actually taken place because a lot of people will be talking about this because of what happened. Who wouldn't usually talk about it and would be like, okay, it makes sense for them to cover it. But Dylan had planned on doing this from the beginning. I did. And Dylan.
We are doing this. Let's go. See, I've hyped this up. People are going to be disappointed now. I don't care. Simon.
Dylan.
We are covering some WWE. Let's go. Let's go.
Who gave us microphones?
Let's go. We bought them.
I love double E.
Love it. Man, I've been a fan literally since I was 10. And before anybody asks, it is absolutely a sport. The storylines and the matches, yes, they may be scripted. But the action is absolutely not.
It's sports entertainment. It's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But WWE just had a massive premium live event, a PLE called Elimination Chamber.
Boy.
Which is the PLE before the biggest PLE of every year, WrestleMania.
And you all know about WrestleMania.
And boy, was it a doozy, mate.
So a brief kind of recap. What is an Elimination Chamber? Basically, it is a massive steel structure with 6 little pods in it. And you have 6 superstars, 1 in each pod. And
4 little pods on it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 4 little pods.
But you have 6 people in
But you have 6 people in a match because 2 will walk into the ring to start everything off. And basically, after a certain amount of time, one of the pods at random will unlock and another wrestler will join the match.
Absolutely.
They do a women's and a men's one because they don't discriminate as much as they used to against women. Do not watch an episode of Raw from 1999 and you'll be horrified.
Yeah, this is fair. You'll
be horrified.
But yeah, pretty much. It's called Elimination Chamber. You've got to be the last one standing. You can't get pinned or submitted.
Yeah,
pretty much. But yeah, so to start off the event, it was the Women's Elimination Chamber, and that started off with a bang because Jade Cargill returns, who'd gotten injured by somebody who everybody thought was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
It was a brutal attack a few months ago now. On an episode of SmackDown, she was just all blood and bruised on a car. Windshield was smashed, and she was coming up, and they had recently revealed through some dodgy security card footage card camera.
Security camera footage, yeah.
That it was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
But she didn't attack Liv?
No, she did not. So Liv and Naomi, who Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, who's also in the match,
Yes.
and Naomi had all been in pretty much a trio.
Yeah.
Before this injury. And Liv Morgan and Naomi started. Jade Cargill's music hits. She's storming down to the ring. And she also is crazy. The muscles on Jade Cargill are crazy, but no, it's honest
No,
truth.
genuinely.
But she storms down to the ring, and you think she's going to go for Liv. But no.
Shit's Naomi.
She goes for Naomi,
And
who
Bianca is locked in her pod
just
banging and
having
screaming.
a panic attack pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it.
I mean,
like,
if Jade Cargill's beating up your best friend, I'd probably have a panic attack too.
yeah, if she's beating up me, I would have a panic attack, to be honest. But also, I will say, Jade Cargill would make a mean-ass heel character.
I think that's probably going to be the
I
play.
think that's what they're going to, what the WWE is going to do. But yeah, so Jade Cargill attacks Naomi. Naomi's out for the match.
She doesn't even get to compete.
She doesn't even get to compete, which is kind of a
strange,
kind of a
but-
trend with Naomi in an elimination
Yeah.
chamber match. I kind of feel sorry for her, but there you go. But yeah, then after that, the match goes on. Everybody comes out of their pod one at a time, and Bianca Belair
I like it.
ends up going through, winning the match. I like it too.
She's clearly one of Triple H's top 3 female superstars at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
With Rhea Ripley and Io
well,
Sky.
and well deserving too.
Yeah, amazing wrestler, amazing athlete, and a very iconic superstar of
Yeah.
the company right now. And she wins her wrestle. So basically, if you win Elimination Chamber, you get to challenge one of the world champions at WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble also gives that honor. That was held first, so we already knew 2 out of the 4 title matches.
Yeah.
We now know that Bianca Belair will face one of Rhea Ripley or Io Sky.
Yeah.
Because those 2, Rhea's the current champ, they face on tomorrow. On
Yes, Raw's tomorrow. Yeah.
tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. But
Yeah.
I have a suspicion that that women's championship match will be a triple threat between those
At
3.
WrestleMania.
I think it's going to happen because Io Sky is so popular and so talented and
Very.
had an awesome Survivor Series performance where she like jumped off the cage with a trash bin over her
Yep,
head
she did.
and was just she's an insane wrestler. To not have her in the chamber match was a massive shock to everyone.
It was. To me too, absolutely.
Because I thought for sure she was going to win the chamber. She didn't even compete in the chamber. She
No.
gets to face Rhea. I don't think Rhea drops the title.
Neither.
Because Rhea Ripley's Rhea Ripley. She has to be at Mania. So maybe she does, and it immediately gets said, okay, you're going to compete in a triple threat at Mania.
I was about
sure.
to say, if I think that's the only way your idea of the triple threat works.
But I
is
still
if Io
think...
Sky wins it, she's the champion going into
Yeah.
Mania, and Rhea Ripley, rematch
Or,
clause Bianca
or
Belair there.
some dodgy shit happens in the match. Rhea feels bad again, and Io gets another shot.
I don't
we'll
think
see.
I don't
I
see
think-
that happening in terms of Rhea's character.
I think they can pull it off, even if Rhea wins.
Yeah.
I don't know how they will.
With that being said, Bianca Belair wins
Awesome.
the Women's Chamber. Then we move on to the next match, which I believe was the tag team match. Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, which Tiffany Stratton is quickly becoming this generation's Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Facing Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. So we know Charlotte is going to face Tiffany Stratton at Mania.
Yeah.
Charlotte won the Rumble. Charlotte Flair.
Tiffany's one of the current champions.
Tiffany is the current champion. So, yeah, this match was like...
I think it was
Yeah.
definitely like Trish Stratus back in her hometown.
Trish Stratus, yeah.
Like, have a match.
Trish Stratus looks fantastic, by the way.
At like 50 years old. Don't know how she does it.
Yeah, we're not going to speculate on that anyway.
Look at us at 24.
Yeah, we need
My
help.
back hurts.
We need help.
I have a sore throat.
But yeah, that was I would call that a filler match.
I think it
I
was
think
a
they
bit.
just wanted to get
yeah.
Tiffany Stratton
and Trish.
and Trish on the card.
Yeah. Not a bad thing.
I
though.
don't know where else that Nia Jax Tiffany Stratton storyline can go now.
I don't
because
think it
Charlotte
goes anywhere.
Flair is going to face Tiffany at Mania, and I'm sure, and we'll talk about this, but I'm sure that if that's the match. I'm sure they'll still have Tiffany win that.
Yeah.
Because it will elevate Tiffany to another level because she's beaten Charlotte Flair, which is exactly what happened to Rhea Ripley when she beat Charlotte Flair. So, that was, I call that a filler match. A good match, of course, but like nowhere near as good as the other ones on this one. And this next one that came up, my goodness, what a fantastic match. And both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn,
unsanctioned
match. Can I just say, if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens ever listen to this, shout out to both of you.
Amazing
you guys
wrestlers.
Put on a match. And the one thing I was surprised by, and this is going to sound really morbid for people who aren't WWE fans, I'm surprised that no blood was drawn from any of them. But boy, it didn't matter.
No.
That was a gory match. And they did it so well. It was so good. And the best part was that Kevin Owens stuck with his unhinged character. The way he plays that is fantastic.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, they both took punishment, don't get me wrong. But Sami Zayn took the punishment and did his job so well. And the best part was, so pretty much to explain it, Kevin Owens for the last, I would say, few months has been very unhinged and has been hitting people with what's called a pile driver, which is a move that's banned in WWE now. But pretty much, if you watch it from a technical perspective, they're doing it the absolute safest way possible. Like, the head is nowhere near the mat. But Kevin Owens has been hitting different people with that. He hit Sami Zayn with that, and that's why this match came about. And they're best friends, all this type of stuff. But a guy who he hit that on was Randy Orton.
I hear voices in my head.
One of my favorite wrestlers ever, and he came back.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton, if you know 2009 Randy Orton, you know what unhinged is.
Yeah.
So you know what Randy Orton can do. Randy Orton almost brought his punt kick back and almost kicked the head off Kevin Owens before security stopped him. That is a fantastic storyline.
And that was after the match.
Yeah, that was after the match.
Which, who won?
Who won? Kevin Owens did.
Kevin Owens
did.
The heel wins.
But he went, man, the way that storyline is playing out.
The Mania match is going to go hard.
Yeah, the Mania match is going to go hard. It's definitely going to be Randy Orton, Kevin Owens at Mania.
Yep.
That's definitely going to be a match that it's got to be no disqualification. It's got to have something like that to it. It's going to be
put it in the cell.
So good. Literally put them in the Hell in the Cell ring.
Yeah.
Although I will say, are we going to get a Undertaker Mankind type of vibes?
Oh.
Because I have a feeling if they put it in the Hell in the Cell, Kevin Owens is going to take punishment.
Yeah, he will.
Punishment. But shout out to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for that match. That was elite wrestling right there.
Careful.
Elite. Careful what?
All you have to do is put one more word in front of it, elite, and we're talking about the wrong promotion.
This is a good point. So we're going to move on. After that was correct me if I'm wrong, the last match.
Yep.
Which was the men's elimination chamber. And if you want to talk about storylines, we can talk about storylines coming out of this match. Holy.
The winner of this match would get the honor to face Cody Rhodes, the current world champion.
Yes.
WWE world champion at Mania.
Yes.
6 wrestlers in this match, one controversial one, and a few very loved and cherished wrestlers in this match.
Yep.
CM Punk, Seth Rollins, John Cena, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul.
Yeah, you get to all the lineup and then Logan Paul. I will say, though, what a match, dude.
What a match.
Honestly, what a match.
I'm so gutted. I was in Wellington. I know I keep on saying that today. And couldn't watch it. But
this was so good. So I'll sum it up. I think they're setting up a Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre WrestleMania match. That's the vibe I got because Drew McIntyre got eliminated by Priest.
Yeah.
I think that's setting up for a match. And Drew McIntyre has been quite the crybaby at the moment.
But he's been...
And it's going to carry on.
He's been one of the best in the business for WWE. So
absolutely.
I'm kind of hoping the next WrestleMania cycle, he's in the main event.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he will, to be honest.
Absolutely. Then Priest, was it Priest that went out next? Yes, it was. No. Or was it Logan Paul? Anyway, Logan Paul and Damian Priest go out next. And then you're left with Punk, Rollins, Cena.
And a key note about Cena is that he didn't have to qualify for this. He just said he was entering it, and WWE
because he's John
said,
Cena.
Yeah, he went like, yep, sure.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense. So, I mean, man, Cena and Punk reigniting that rivalry, although it was in a lot more respect. Rollins still obsessed with Punk, which came back to bite Punk at least. Rollins got eliminated first, but Rollins was so obsessed and frustrated with Punk that pretty much he curb stomped Punk that left him there pretty much for dead, and John Cena took advantage, submitted him out. John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber.
John Cena gets to face Cody Rhodes, and there was one thing we didn't talk about. There was another, not a match, but a segment planned for this Elimination Chamber where Cody Rhodes
I was about to mention.
had a decision to make. Now, for the past week and a bit, The Rock, of all people, has been doing these weird promos on Cody, basically telling him to sell his soul to him.
Yeah.
And which a lot of people are saying this is potentially The Rock being a corporate figure and wanting his own corporate champion.
Yeah, well, he is. And to be fair, they make well known that he is the one of the board of directors of TKO, who own WWE.
He's a director, and so initially this was supposed
That's
to.
real, by the way. That's not a storyline.
So this was supposed to happen in the middle of the chamber. That was the whole point. In the middle of the whole pay-per-view. PLE these days.
Yeah.
And then it got pushed out to being after something, then after something else, and then all of a sudden, this is happening after the chamber.
Yeah,
and so John Cena's celebrating, they raise the chamber, Cody Rhodes walks out.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
So Cody Rhodes walks out, The Rock with John Cena there, and randomly Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't forget that. And he's there telling Cody, I need your soul. I need you. Come to me. Pretty much. That's paraphrasing. Cody goes out and literally says, go yourself.
Yeah. And that's very rare for WWE.
Very rare. And you could hear it too on Netflix.
Yeah. And
the crowd went mad. John Cena gets excited, and they embrace. But while they embrace, you can see John Cena's face go dead.
It goes numb.
And
locking eyes with The Rock.
The Rock looks at him, puts his fingers across his throat, and John Cena kicks Cody Rhodes in the nuts. And him and The Rock proceed to beat Cody Rhodes to a bloody pulp.
For the first time in 22 years, John Cena turns heel, which means bad guy.
I did not expect that. And
I'm in shock.
Yeah, I was saying to one of my friends as well, I don't see Cody Rhodes giving up the title unless he goes heel and Cena stays the face. That got flipped up on its head.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. And God, I genuinely almost had a panic attack over it because I had a flight 2 hours later, and Dylan was live.
I'm messaging him this live,
and I start to feel really, really anxious about it, and I got a flight 2 hours after that, and so I was even more anxious.
So sorry, dude.
And I was like, it was not only till I landed in Auckland last night, but I was a little bit, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Shit, John Cena's still a heel. Oh,
John
God.
Cena is a heel.
He was a heel.
I can't wait to see what happens from now.
You know who Travis Scott reminded me of in that whole segment?
Who?
NWO Dennis Rodman.
This is a good point.
I think that it's just so many parallels to that, or
Dennis Rodman is a side quest master, by the way.
He is a side quest master. That might just have to be a whole podcast. If we still did our old podcast, Sports Story, when we talked about old sports events, with just a whole episode about Dennis Rodman and what he's got up to.
Literally.
Because it's such a long list.
Like this, can I say, Paul Levesque, Mr. Triple H.
Hey, Paul.
I was not familiar with your game until now. Now, I say that I was very familiar with his
Yeah.
game, but I'm even more familiar now. He cooked.
They've played it off
WWE
so well.
cooked
Yeah.
this premium live event. These storylines coming out of this are fantastic.
Everyone who was complaining about how Mania was going to look after the Rumble are now not complaining and are praising Triple H because they pulled a fast one on us and it was awesome.
The final boss and super heel Cena team up.
And Travis Scott.
And Travis Scott. Can I say this, though, because I want to because WrestleMania is very close. So I'm going to end the episode, I'm going to do a little bit of predictions.
Quickly, the camera is dying.
Yes, that is true. So I think Cody Rhodes is winning that Cena road just to elevate him to even more status at WrestleMania because he's about to go through hell right now. I think Rollins and Punk are definitely having a match at WrestleMania. That is happening. That's going to be awesome. My question with this whole thing, with that going on, where does Roman Reigns fit?
That's a very good question. And also, where does Solo Sikoa fit? Where does Jacob Fatu fit?
Does that
where does Yee fit?
Yeah. The camera's dead, so you're just listening to our voice now.
Yeah, unless I can magically turn it back on. But I'm not so convinced. But
there you go. So
we're just going to leave it.
That's the thing. There's so many good storylines happening right now. This is going to be so awesome. They've literally brought my love for WWE back.
It has.
So good.
And I can't wait to see Jey Uso beat Gunther. I can't wait to see who they decide has the women's heavyweight title. Well, it's not women's heavyweight. It's the women's...
What's the...
WWE Women's World Championship.
Yes.
And then the other one is...
Yeah. So that's Rhea Ripley. You know what? You got Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton that are the world champions in the
I've got two
at the
different
moment.
So I'm interested to see whether Rhea retains or if they give it to Io or if they give it to Bianca. And then also I'm really interested to hopefully see Tiffany retain the title against Charlotte. And then also the other mini matches going on. It'll be really cool to see who's got the tag matches at the last WrestleMania were really, really good. Yeah. So I'm hoping the standards.
I have a feeling there's another one too. I have a feeling there's a Cena Rock versus Cody Rhodes and someone. Is that Roman Reigns?
There could be. I don't know if I have the space for it this year though.
No, I don't think so.
And Cody will probably look at Triple H booking him to wrestle both nights of WrestleMania and probably tell him to go fuck himself.
Very true. Triple H, I bow to you, sir. That was some cooking right there. Speaking of bowing, it's time for us to bow out. So, Simon, thank you so much for joining me on a feeling not the best, my man.
No,
stick to the grind.
The throat's only just starting to get worse because Dylan gave me these random
they were very random
things. I don't know what they are. Never seen in my life, but it did the bloody job.
There you go.
And now it's only I might actually have one before I head back.
Go for it, man.
Get my dinner. Get my traditional Monday night Nando's after podcast recording.
Let's go.
But
amen.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. I felt like we talked a lot longer than I think we would. I think the WWE obviously took up a big section.
And
unfortunately, we'll probably talk about it more and more. Probably not talking about every live show.
No, of course
not. We've got Raw tomorrow. We've got SmackDown on Saturdays, and even NXT's popping off at the moment.
And there's just so much sport at general at the moment.
Exactly.
That we'll definitely catch up on. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Ka kite anō, and I'm going to do a new sign out.
Oh no.
CouchSide out.
CouchSide out.